Hello and welcome to the Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friend. If you've been looking for a podcast geared towards your growth, self-awareness, navigating your brain's daily mind drama, and deep inner work to become your highest and best self, you are in the perfect place. Let's get started. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. If you're brand new here, welcome to the podcast. And if you're a returning listener, as always, I'm so grateful to have you here. All right, you guys, this morning we're going to talk about beliefs and reality. But before we do that, I want to let you know of an offer that is on the table and is time sensitive, just in case you're curious or interested. As you guys know, I have just started my certification at the Life Coach School, which means that I am basically learning mastery of a specific coaching style. I'm really excited about it. It's a model that I've used with my clients for several years because I love it so much, but I am getting certified in using it so that I know how to use it quicker, so that I can, catch more of my clients' sneaky thoughts, so that I can use it in a more purposeful way in my own life. And so there are a lot of reasons why I'm doing this certification, but as a result, it's also great for me to practice. And the school wants us to practice with clients in 25-minute increments. So what I have done is created a Google form. If you've always wanted to be coached, but you've been like, I don't know that I can afford it, or you've looked at my website before and maybe it hasn't felt like the right time, and you're looking for a steal of a deal, I'm doing 6 coaching calls for $300. They're 25 minutes each. And the only thing that you have to be cool with is that it will be recorded over Zoom and then converted to an audio-only clip, which will be an option for my instructor to listen to if she asks. And that is nothing to do or has nothing to do with you, right, in your coaching call, and everything to do with her hearing how I coached you through a specific situation to see if I have mastered the skill, and she may or may not even listen to it. So if you're cool with that and you're like, you know what, it's, I know that it's not going to be shared anywhere else. There's a potential that an instructor might listen for the sole purpose of offering constructive, criticism to Macy. If you're cool with that and you want a discount on coaching, which never happens, I haven't offered any kind of deal like this for one-on-one coaching ever in my business, not even when I was a one-on-one coach. So if it's something that you've been wanting to be coached at a high level, you really want to see your own sneaky mind, this is an opportunity for it. And all you have to do is reach out to me, or some of my most recent posts on Instagram and Facebook have the Google form link. You fill it out. I'm only going to select maybe 4 to 6 people, maybe 8 people, depending on how many people are interested. And after that, once you're selected, we'll go forward and you can get one-on-one coaching for literally $300, 6 different calls. That is a huge opportunity to transform your life with whatever it is that you have going on. Okay, now moving on to our topic of the day, which is beliefs and reality. I love this. I was reading actually my coaching workbook, and in it, there was a sentence in there that said, beliefs and reality tend to be reflective of one another. And it really hit home for me and inspired me to make this episode of the podcast because that statement is so very true. So I'm going to repeat it again and then explain exactly what this means for anybody who is maybe a little unsure. So again, it is beliefs and reality tend to be reflective of one another. Okay, so your life is truly a manifestation of your beliefs. And this is really important for you to have sink into your mind, okay? Because if you know what your beliefs are, okay, or if you want to know what your beliefs are, you simply look at what you've created so far in your life. It's as simple as that. Look around at your life and know that you created that with your underlying beliefs, whether they are conscious beliefs or unconscious beliefs. It's a really powerful realization when you can own this. So I want you to think of all the ways you're happy with your life and really feel gratitude for all the things that you've created, because you did exactly that. You created it with your belief, your family, your children, your relationship, the love that you have between you and a spouse or a partner, or your friendships, the money that you've created in your life, the career path that you have, the job that you've chosen, the business that you've been successful at. If you're looking around and you love every bit of it, pat yourself on the back because you created it. You created it with all of your underlying thoughts, or all the thoughts that you choose on a daily basis. A lot of times you'll hear, even in relationships and love, that love is a choice. And if you break that down, what people are really saying is you get to decide how you feel about your significant other at any given moment. Love is truly a choice, because there are going to be moments in your relationships where you do not always feel happy, do not always feel thrilled, right? Or not always happy with their actions when they put the socks next to the dirty hamper instead of in the dirty hamper, when they do not load the dishwasher correctly, right? Or whatever, they forget an anniversary. There are going to be moments where maybe you're not happy, and you really get to choose how you feel about your significant other. Okay? You get to choose all the ways in which you love them, no matter what their flaws are, right? They get to choose all the ways that they love you, even with your flaws. Love is truly a decision and a choice that you make every day consciously to stand by your significant other, even when they drive you crazy. Because every time things go south, it can be very easy to want to throw in the towel. That's why they say love is a choice, right? It's a decision. It's a belief that you have created of all the reasons why you would choose to stay or love someone through their chaos. Okay? That's kind of where that comes from. But every single moment, you're creating your reality with your thoughts. Every single moment. And where this really shows up as a struggle in people's lives are with money and with time. People have a lot of thoughts, negative ones, about money, lack thereof, I should say. Some underlying thoughts may be, money is hard to come by. My job doesn't appreciate me. My job doesn't pay me enough. We'll never be able to afford, insert whatever it is. We're never going to have more money. Money isn't everything. Money doesn't grow on trees. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Money makes people greedy. Money is bad. Lust over money is horrible. All of those statements people say all the time. And they say them because they feel true. And it's a belief system that is either conscious, that they think of all the time and really fully believe it, or it's subconscious. They heard their parents saying it. They feel like it's true based on what experiences they're having in their life. And as a result of those beliefs, they're creating their reality. So every time more bills come in and they can't get ahead, they reiterate the fact that money's hard to come by, that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. They never get to be ahead. So you really have to be conscious of the things that you're saying to yourself, the things that you're saying out loud, your beliefs, right? How you talk to yourself, what things you believe are possible, because every single moment of your life, you're creating the reality that you're living. And this might sound a little defeating if you're in a place where you're not super happy, but honestly, it should make you feel very, very powerful, because it means that the power is always in your hands, right? And that is why coaching can be so beneficial, because a lot of us have a lot of subconscious thoughts, and a lot of us end up with results in some area of our life where we're not 1,000% happy. We may be so crazy in love with our partner, okay? But we may be having a horrendous time with money. We may be incredibly wealthy, but we might be struggling significantly on the verge of divorce with our partner, okay? We might have the best relationship with our children, but a horrible relationship with our own mother or father or family member, okay? You might have an amazing relationship with your mother and father, but maybe you have a horrendous relationship with an ex that you're co-parenting with. We all have situations in our life, and they're all very difficult at times, right? We all have our own struggles, but our thoughts about them are what matter most, because our thoughts really do create the way that we're feeling. Our feelings dictate what we do or don't do, and what we do or do not do contribute to the ultimate result that we see. And so what your belief about a person, a place, a thing, and a circumstance, an event, that really matters, because that belief is what creates your reality. If you believe it's really hard to make money, you'll create a bunch of circumstances in your life where you find it really hard to make money or save money. If you believe that there's not enough hours in the day and that there's not enough time, you'll create a lot of busyness in your life to reiterate that belief, even subconsciously. You'll create busy work for yourself that maybe doesn't even have to be done that day in that moment, but you'll tell yourself that you do have to get it done, right? Create extra work for yourself just to have that thought be supported that there's not enough time in the day. So what I want to encourage you to ask yourself is, what differences do you see in what you want to experience versus what you are currently experiencing? Where are the gaps? Where can you see that what you want versus what you have is different, right? How you want to feel versus how you actually feel is different. Where can you see those gaps in your life? Really think on that, right? If you're like, I have a dream that one day I'll be able to afford to take my entire family to, let's just be fun, think fun, right? To Hawaii. You want to be able to take your whole family to Hawaii, whether that's immediate family or even extended family. But in your day-to-day life, you're saying things like, we'll never have enough money. It's just not possible. My boss, doesn't give me a raise. I'm never going to make enough. I'm stuck in this job that pays X, Y, Z, right? If that is the story you're telling yourself on a daily basis, that is the story, or those are the stories that are going to actually create your reality. Because your belief system doesn't support the family vacation in Hawaii. You would have to shift your thinking to match the result that you're wanting to get. And so that is why I thought the statement I read was so powerful. If you want to know what your beliefs are, look at your life. I love that. I'm going to read it again. If you want to know what your beliefs are, look at your life, because you're creating it every single moment. Now, people might feel confused, like, I don't control my ex-husband, right? Like I don't control my ex-wife. I have no control over them, I should say. So when they're acting crazy and I feel miserable in my life, it's because they're being crazy. Or, when I feel depressed that we're not going to be able to go on a family vacation to Florida, and I look at my finances and my finances aren't where I want them to be, well, it's the lack of money that's creating my reality. But it's not. It's never actually the circumstance. It's not the ex-husband or ex-wife. It's not the lack of money. It's literally your belief and your thought process behind it. Okay? What you're thinking creates your results. What you're thinking and believing create your results, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Okay? So sometimes it's sneaky beliefs that you don't even know are wired in your system. If you feel like rich people are bad, but you want to make money, right? You want to have a lot of money and you play the lottery and maybe you're like, gosh, I really wish I'd hit my lucky break. I really wish I'd make a lot of money. But there's a deep underlying belief that rich people are snobs or rich people are bad, or having money makes you greedy, or having money will change you. If that's an underlying belief, you won't be able to create the money that you want because you won't be able to hold on to it. You won't feel worthy of it. You have an underlying belief that's stronger. And so what you're creating is a reality that matches that belief system. So you will end up seeing the same amount of money in your bank account because you have an underlying belief that doesn't match what it is you actually want. And that's why I asked you a few moments ago to really think about what differences do you see playing out in your life right now that are different than what you want to see in your life. And that is why having a coach can be so very valuable, because every time you are expressing goals that you want to hit, right? How you want your life to feel, how you want to be thinking, what you want to be able to create. And then you go on and you share why you don't have it, right? Or you're thinking around your life, or you're sharing why you feel like you're in suffering or you feel like you're stuck. A coach is able to really point out that disconnect, that gap of like, oh, okay, I see. Here's where you're wanting to be. However, this is where you currently are, and it's because of this thought and this thought and this thought and this belief. Do you see that? And honestly, it sounds so common sense, but when you're in your stories, you don't realize that a lot of times those stories are not always serving you. So I recently had this. I got coached by a peer in my class, and I was talking about how when I'm at my grandparents' house, they don't have internet. And it's very inconvenient for me. And I have a lot of negative thoughts about it. Like, there's no internet. This is super inconvenient. And when I'm having the thought, like, this is super inconvenient, I feel like defeated. I feel very defeated and aggravated. Okay. And I think when I was coaching with her, I said, I feel very aggravated. And she was like, okay, well, what do you do when you feel aggravated? And I'm like, well, I lay on the swing and I start to go into self-pity mode, because I'm like, there's a lot of work I could be doing, except that I can't get it done because, there's emails to write, but there's no internet, and there are things I want to be doing, but there's no internet, and it's just really inconvenient, and I'm very aggravated. And so I just kind of self-sulk and waste my time and, have all of these internal stories about how it's just so inconvenient that they don't have good internet service, barely any, to be honest. And she was like, so really the result is that you're inconveniencing yourself. Like, you're actually just inconveniencing yourself, because I also know how to solve the problem, right? I could go somewhere like a coffee shop, or I can go to a friend's house and use their internet. And while it's not the most convenient, it's still a solution. And so from my thought process of this is really inconvenient that they don't have internet, and then feeling aggravated and then not doing anything at all because I feel so aggravated, she was like, you're really just inconveniencing yourself. And it really hit home. And I was like, you're absolutely right. I am inconveniencing myself because I know exactly what to do to solve this problem. But I decide some days to stay in sulking and to stay in woe is me, where there's no internet. This is inconvenient. I'll have to drive in order to get signal. I'll have to drive somewhere in order to make this work. And, it's just not fun. But it was the truth, right? I'm creating my own story and self-suffering. And when I'm staying in that story, that creates my reality. So it creates the reality of not getting anything done. It's not conducive to my goals, okay? The goals that I have, I'm not going to achieve them by being in that story of this is inconvenient and this is a problem. So sometimes it's so nice to have that other additional set of eyes and ears on your own stories that feel so true to rattle off, and have them point out the ways in which it's sneakily serving you, Okay? So beliefs and reality, they tend to be reflective of one another. It's very true. Look at what you're currently living and know that it's all stemming from a belief system. And when you're ready to change that belief system, to have a better marriage, right? To be able to get back in the dating world again and not attract the same people, or to make more money, or to create more time, or to lose the weight, or to stop the buffering behavior, or, whatever it is, to change career paths or to fall in love with your career, whatever it is, you can come to me with any problem that you're having, anything that feels difficult, anything that feels hard, and we can coach through it. So that is today's topic. I hope that you enjoyed it. And again, just to reiterate what I have going on, you can get 6 one-on-one coaching calls. They're 25 minutes apiece for just $300. I'm only going to take a few people. The stipulation is that you will have to agree that you're okay with it being recorded. That has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the fact that I'm in certification for mastering this level of coaching. My instructor may choose to listen to the audio version of the clip to see if she's catching anything that I could be missing and could improve on. It's to help me become stronger as a coach. And so if you're down with that, if you're cool with that, then you and I can lock arms for 6 coaching calls, go through with whatever it is that you want help with, and it's a $300 exchange, okay? So if you need the link for that, I might even put it in the show notes so you can click the Google form, fill it out, I'll see it, I'll be in touch with you, and we can go from there if you're selected. All right, you guys, have an amazing week.